you're in the right place. Grab your surfboard, the water is ready, and let's dive in.
Everybody. So in July, we have so much going on. There's so much activity. There's so much heat. There's so much cosmic activity happening in July. And this is going to be so supportive for you if you're looking for cosmic guidance, whether or not it's reflecting back on what's already happened and giving yourself mental clarity or emotional clarity of, oh, that's why I felt this way, or why I did that thing, or why I made that action, or I had this point of clarity. It was because these transits were happening. Or if it's for you to plan ahead of what it is that you want to do for the rest of the month. All right, so to start off with, in July, we had International Joke Day, which is so funny, especially since it is the 1st of July here in Canada. That's our national holiday, Canada Day, which is quite controversial given the fact that Canada was founded by taking lands and creating genocide to the Indigenous people here. So bit of a lighter note than this genocidal colonial point of view on the 1st of the month. And I know many um, countries, America included, has the 4th of July is their Independence Day. So this is kind of a theme these first few days in July to think about like nationalism and what that means to be a citizen of these two countries here in North America. But I really liked focusing on the fact that it was International Joke Day. And even though we're a little bit away from the 1st of July now, I think this is really funny. I think this is really fun to focus on this. I always think that, especially in the spiritual world, in the world of healing and expansion and growth and personal development, that we could laugh a lot more. We could laugh a lot more at ourselves. We could laugh a lot more at the seriousness of it all. It's a little bit of Sag magic, and some of that Sag magic is going to be coming through with the full moon reading that we will be having in July. And so just remember to laugh, remember to joke around, find a comedian. Laughter is a great medicine. Really notice when was the last time you really had like a deep belly laugh or just focused on just having fun and play. That is an important part of your health and well being, especially because the next day on July 2nd, Mercury went retrograde. And I think it's so funny that Mercury went retrograde on World UFO Day because I'm saying Mercury, but I mean Neptune. Neptune is a planet that really represents, similar to Uranus, things that are out of this world, things that are the unseen, things that are mysterious, right? Things that need technology and telescopes in order to be seen because we can't see Neptune with our naked eye. And so the fact that it's also World UFO Day on the same day that Neptune goes retrograde is very interesting and funny to me. Because when Neptune goes retrograde, it's like all of our fantasy, all of our delusions, all of our ideas of, oh, like it could even be like kind of daydreams that we've had that felt more like fantasies, right? Like your dreams are not your fantasies, but there are certain fantasies that feel like, is that really real? Is that really healthy? Is that really going to help you and support you and help the world move forward? It's like once Mercury, I keep on saying Mercury is so funny. Once Neptune is in retrograde, all of this becomes a lot more clear. Sometimes this can be a bit of a rude awakening, but there is this sense of clarity and groundedness and not having like a veil over your eyes or not feeling foggy about things anymore. There's this clarity that comes to you of, oh, I can actually make this happen and this might not be happening. And this is a dream and a vision that I need to stick to. And perhaps that was just a fantasy and I need to let it go. Um, and it's a very, very powerful grounding energy that Neptune retrograde gives us, especially since it is retrograde for half the year for a really long time up until December. So this is a point in time where we get to be a little bit more real, a little bit more realistic. Whereas before, maybe we were like daydreaming and hoping things would be happening in our business. And now it's more so of what is actually going to happen? What do you actually need to do? What do you actually want to do? What are the shifts? And big, that doesn't mean that you can't have massive growth and big things change. It means that you're just going to be more realistic and grounded about it. And that's a good thing. So take this next 6 months with Neptune being retrograde to really let yourself settle into which of your dreams are actually coming true. And how can you be more level-headed and grounded in pursuing that? Okay, so it happened for quite some time, but Sirius and the Sun come into alignment. This is considered the Sirius alignment or the Sirius activation. I don't talk a lot about fixed stars alignment or galactic alignments here, but this is a pretty important one, especially because it comes on the 4th of July for those of you in the US, is when really this starts. And Sirius is right below Gemini, at least this one point in Gemini, and it's pretty close to Orion, and Orion is right before Gemini begins. And Sirius is, of course, the dog star. It's considered our spiritual sun. It's a very powerful portal for activation for our. It's interesting how Neptune goes retrograde, and that means that we get a little bit more clarity and groundedness with the way that we're thinking and creating and imagining things in the world. And then the Sirius alignment, this activation actually pushes us forward into creating what is really here for us to create. It's like our imaginations are enlightened, our path and journey is made clear. You might have felt a lot of clarity during this time, especially because the new moon was right in the middle or even at the culmination point of this alignment on the 5th of July. The 5th of July saw us having a new moon in Gemini. And this is, again, like this energy here is all very mental. It's all about changing your mind, changing your view, changing your perspectives, changing the way that you think about yourself and your business and even the world and what's possible for you. And there really feels like there's things that are going to be happening and things that did happen during that time. Think back to the 5th of July of what happened for you that day that really changed things. Like there was a moment before that and a moment after that, because this is a lot of cosmic energy all in one focused moment in time, right? Where the new moon is really close to where Sirius is, and then the sun is also right beside Sirius. All of them are culminating together to give you a really powerful activation in perhaps thinking about things differently than you ever had before. Maybe something that you were stuck in a mindset or a belief about for years, even your whole lifetime, could have changed. You could have started expressing yourself and saying, this is what I need to say. This is my new message. This is what I'm here to speak and create into the world. Or just giving yourself a new perspective that honestly felt like a miracle. It's a miraculous moment in time. And I want to say, like, at least my own experience of it is it still felt very embodied. It's like the activation was going through my mind and then radiating out, innervating throughout my entire nervous system. It like anchored into my whole nervous system. And it just felt like, okay, I'm not being delusional. Like, I know this is right for me. This is my path forward. I have this new perspective. I have this new belief. I have this new knowing and moving forward and expressing that. So let me know what big moment happened for you during this Sirius alignment, Gemini new moon, Neptune retrograde period at the beginning of July. What did it change for you in your life and in your business? Because it would have had a really profound shift. And of course, the new moon is a great time to have set new intentions. It's 444 right now, as I'm saying this, lots of alignment happening, right? To set new intentions. And sometimes, even if you didn't have a ceremony or a circle or journaling or however it is that you commemorate the moon cycle starting, it would have been a powerful moment to be like, this is a new beginning. And just notice what is new, what has begun anew. How are you thinking about yourself anew and the world anew and communicating differently to your audience, to your clients, to yourself about yourself? Really powerful. The next day is the end of the Sirius alignment, and it's also World Kissing Day, which I just think is always fun to remember to kiss, to spend time being intimate and to have pleasure and to kiss, kiss your partner, kiss your children, kiss your dog, kiss your best friend, within boundaries. But in Europe, I'm European and we always kiss on the cheek to greet each other. And I just think that's such a beautiful and intimate way to connect with people and even to kiss yourself. Um, I learned back when I became a Kundalini yoga teacher that if you kiss the center of your palm, it's like giving your heart a kiss. So do that with me now. Kiss the center of your palm and see how it feels in your body and especially in your heart space. I find it so calming and so soothing. So July 6th, maybe you were making out, maybe you had some kisses coming your way. This is just a reminder to include kisses and romance in your daily life, even if it's not romantic, if it's just platonic, that kisses are a really powerful way to show love. And speaking of love, the next day, Venus went into Cancer. So Venus was in Leo, which is a very potent and hot placement for Venus to be in, right? It's a fiery on fire planet, Venus is. And when it moves into Cancer, it's a lot more soothed, it's a lot more nurturing, loving towards yourself and others. And, you know, I can't make this stuff up. This was also International Forgiveness Day. All of the days that I'm pointing out here on this calendar are international days. So no matter where you are in the world, it's relevant. That's why I didn't include Canada Day and the 4th of July, etc. So Venus in Cancer is a really powerful time, especially after all of this activation and even this healing. It could have been a very therapeutic time for you, for your mind and the way that you think about your work and your mission and yourself as an individual. And even your relationships with your family, because Gemini can often speak to our relationships and how we relate to others, especially our siblings. You know, July 7th was a potent day to forgive yourself, to forgive the world. You need to forgive your business for what has happened, what hasn't happened, for the sales you've had, for the nightmare clients you've had, for the fact that you're not where you maybe thought or think you should be. You know, how can you be forgiving? How can you be loving? How can you be tender and graceful and easeful about wherever you are in your current business and in your life? And Venus in Cancer is a perfect description of this. And I know for myself, you know, the big changes that are happening for me is I'm pregnant, I'm going on maternity leave, I am giving birth to my son at the beginning of September, and I've had to have a lot of forgiveness for myself for the fact that doing work and continuing to work on my business for the rest of the summer doesn't feel aligned for me. And I've had to go against this conditioning of like capitalistic, you know, I thought I'd already done lots of work on this after being in feminine business work for 7 years, but there's still more to come up as we go through the different transitions of our life. And Cancer is, of course, the sign of the mother and the nurturer and the caregiver, and the one that is so sensitive and tuned in and very aware and very emotionally present and emotionally intelligent. And I've noticed that I've had to forgive myself for not wanting to work as much, for not even recording this recording until the past the middle of July, because I just didn't have the energy for it. I needed to take care of myself. I was in a deep nesting phase. Perhaps you're going through a similar transition or you're going through something else where you just need to be light with yourself. You need to be graceful. You need to be forgiving. And when you do that, when you give yourself that compassion, you actually realize like everything's okay. Everyone's going to be fine. You can take care of yourself and everyone can take care of themselves. And you can still be sensitive to others' feelings without people pleasing or compromising yourself or bombarding yourself or forcing yourself to go past your own boundaries or your own well-being practices. So this is a really big time to check in and be like, okay, where can I forgive myself? Where can I forgive the world? Where can I forgive my business? And what is this? What is the level of compassion and nurturing and nourishment and love and empathy that you can give for yourself in this new phase of life, whatever that might be for you, for your family, for your business. And with that, I just want to mention for any of you that do want to work with me before I'm on mat leave, I'm giving birth to my son, like I said, at the beginning of September, unless he comes early. I'm planning on keeping my books open until the middle of August. So if you want to book in and get a one-on-one session with me, the links to do that are below on my services page on my website, sanjarose.com. If you want to join my Cosmic Arts training, where you can learn how to read the sky for yourself, we're still going to be recording that live all up until Ophiuchus season, and then we're going to have like consistent training so you can practice reading the sky and reading charts ongoing. That's just going to be a live space where you can get support and mentorship with your own understanding of the cosmos, whether or not you do it professionally or not. That's my Cosmic Arts training. That's always open. I have some other courses that are always open. So you'll still be able to work with me after August, but not in a one-on-one way, just through my courses. And I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited for this new moment in my life. And perhaps you're moving through this a moment as well in your life where you might be scaling outside of working with just people one on one, and you want to work in a more scalable, course based, product based business. And so, I'm holding that container. I'm literally shifting into that myself. So, hopefully I can be a role model or a guide or even just a friend in that transition. And if you want to work with me or get a reading with me, my astrology readings and cosmic marketing readings are so incredibly powerful and impactful and a deep place to remember yourself and your greatness. And it's like an alignment elixir. And if you want that before I go on mat leave, because I'm not going to be doing it, I don't know how long, probably 2025. I might open up days starting in the new year, depending on how motherhood is going. Maybe I won't feel like it at all. I'm not sure. I'm in a state of surrender and just self-compassion at this point. But if you want to get a reading, or if you want anyone else to get a reading in your life, then book in before the middle of August. All right, that's my little spiel. Let's move forward. Okay, so July 10th was a really, really big day because Mars moved into Taurus. So Mars was in Aries. So if you were feeling during that Mars in Aries period, that first week of July and the last few weeks before, once it went into Aries back in June, if you were feeling like this spark, this fire, this gotta go, this gotta create, this gotta initiate and make things happen, and then all of a sudden on the 10th of July, you felt this kind of slowing down, this steadiness, even more so groundedness, right? With all of this new clarity and all of these new ideas that you would have had during the Gemini new moon and the Sirius alignment. Now it's time to put those into action, but in a way that's healthy and steady and grounded and maybe it goes a little bit slower than you thought it might, or maybe it just goes at a pace that's more reliable, practical, easygoing, right? It's not some like magical, constantly thinking you have to be hustling and quantum leaping and having all these things happen overnight. It's actually having a more easeful and even a more feminine, kind of like a seasonal cyclical approach to things, right? Like it's when you tune into your own moon cycle and your menstrual cycle and you realize, oh, I don't have to be hustling hard and putting myself out there and selling things and putting myself out into the world when I'm on my moon. I can do that when I'm ovulating, right? It's kind of noticing that there is a right time in terms of your own energy, in terms of your own cycle, maybe even the cycle of the earth, depending on what season it is or what cosmic season it is. And when Mars is in Taurus, we really get clear on what are our long-term goals? What do we need to put into place to make that real and happen? And how can we actually slow down to get farther ahead, right? When we focus and when we have less distractions and things that we can actually let go of, we can actually be more focused and conscious about what it is that we're doing. So there is this profound like clarity and groundedness. And also, I could even say like determined boundaries that come into place as Mars is in Taurus. And I'll, of course, talk about this Mars and Uranus conjunction that just happened this week, but we're not there yet. I wanted to mention that July 10th was also Global Energy Independence Day, which I think is very fascinating and something that we could all potentially look into more, especially if any of you are really passionate about energy, sustainability, off-grid, off-grid communities, feeling energy independent within your own life, within your own homestead, within the way that you exist in literal energy, as in electricity that runs our homes, that runs our lives, that runs our vehicles. But there's also this, I also really love the double meaning of energy independence in the world of energetics, in the world of spiritual work and initiation and power. What does Global Energy Independence Day look like? What does that feel like energetically for you to feel independent in your own energy, to feel sovereign in your own energy? Perhaps it's a moment in time to call all of your energy and power back to you, to see where your energy leakages might be going out, right? This might be a part of this Taurus Mars energy that's coming through is, oh, I'm actually like leaking a lot of energy by doing all my own bookkeeping or by planning all of my own content or by having 6 different systems that I have to log into for my marketing. And what if I could streamline it to a couple different things, or just noticing where the energy leaks are in your life, where you're feeling, energy toxicity or codependence, or not a sense of independence, that your energy is your own and that you are sovereign in managing it, maintaining it, and keeping it healthy. So let me know what you think about energy independence and what that phrase and what that wording brings up for you, both on a practical energy sustainability point of view, but also your own personal energy and energetics point of view. Okay, so next we have a very special shift in the sky, which is Mercury going into Leo. And Mercury will be in Leo for really the rest of the summer because it's going to be going retrograde in Leo in August. So Mercury is now in Leo. So you might have been feeling, after all of this mental clarity, after kind of like clearing away things that don't matter to you anymore and getting more focused, more boundaried, more clear, more sovereign, that you have more power, more boldness, more to lead with, more passion, more fire to actually put out there what it is that you actually want to say, what it is that you actually want to learn, right? This is what Mercury and Leo is all about, is one, learning about and being fascinated and curious about things that you really care about. Like, what is your artistic passion? Are you picking up that book that you haven't written in a while? Or even just getting into some form of art or self-expression that you haven't really fully let your mind focus on for a while? Or are you just expressing yourself in a big, bold, beautiful way, right? Mercury and Leo can sometimes be very fiery, potent language where maybe you're finally having conversations and confrontations that you have been holding off, both within your life and with yourself and in your family, but also in your business, right? Being really, really clear about the type of leader that you need to be and what information you need to be consuming and what information you need to be dispelling and giving out to the world. So this is a very powerful activation in our expression, but also in the content and the words that we take into our bodies, that we take into our minds, and what we're putting back out there, right? Is it leading you to become the highest and best version of yourself, to become the best leader that you can be? If not, perhaps it's time to reconsider that information that's coming in and also the information that's going out. Are you being as bold, as artistic, as real as you could be? Are you letting yourself shine and be seen? These are the questions for Mercury and Leo. And then, of course, on the 13th, I felt a big shift happen on the 13th, on the Saturday. And of course, we had that big event happen with Donald Trump in the US, the assassination attempt on him. And this was the first quarter moon. So this was a very powerful time to see what has happened, what has been created so far. And with this energy, it's very potent. We might see like, oh, wow, this is what, the world has come to in terms of politics, in terms of conspiracies, and like real true conspiracies, not theories, not conspiratorial lies, but real true conspiracies. And there's also this sense of what is it that you've created so far? What is this new clarity, this mental shift, these new beliefs created for you so far in your business, in your world, in your own body, just in your own mind, of how you think and consider yourself and your work and your business and your marketing. And so the first quarter moon is a very powerful review period. It might have been a very contemplative day. You might have just felt kind of more of that moon energy in your life. And of course, this was really close to the Uranus and Mars conjunction. They were already pretty close at this point. The 15th is when they were perfectly conjunct, perfectly over top of each other, whereas then they were already influencing each other at that point in Taurus. On the 13th, they were actually really close to the fixed star Al-Ghul, which is considered the most malefic star. Malefic is like bad news bears star in the sky, and it's actually a star that talks about losing your head. So obviously there was a literal experience of that we saw with Donald Trump at him being literally shot, like in the head, in the ear. And there's also a sense of perhaps there was a moment where you felt like you were going to lose your own head, or had a headache, or had like all of these thoughts come up that were like, whoa, I decided back here in the Gemini new moon or around this time that I was going to think about these things differently. But then, hey, I've had challenges come up this week. And now, and now you're kind of questioning, like, am I really standing by myself? Am I standing by those new beliefs? Am I standing embodied in them? And, or it could have been that you have been standing in your new perspectives and power, but that it could have been kind of creating like mental realignment for you and recalibration. And that in itself can feel kind of uncomfortable, right? When our cells are changing, we might feel discomfort, we might feel heat, we might feel pain, we might feel irritation because there's actual like DNA neuro rearrangement happening. And so just notice what happened for you on the 13th, especially because Mars and Uranus together interacting around that star, they 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 bring about a lot of change, a lot of sudden change, a lot of sudden shifts, a lot of sudden epiphanies, the unexpected. It could be somewhat chaotic, but it could also be like profound epiphanies and new shifts. And oh my gosh, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to act. This is how I need to now create my business and be in the world. So Mars and Uranus on the 15th, on their exact conjunction, they were far away from Al-Ghul. They were actually really close to the Pleiades. And this is a really powerful place for them to have been within Taurus. And so the fact that Mars and Uranus came together right next to the Pleiades, this is our reminder to come back to our origin stories, right? To come back to the star stories of how it is that we came here onto this planet, how we are one within this universe. And the Pleiades are often considered by many indigenous tribes here on Turtle Island. They speak of it as a star story of our origins. That's where Star Woman fell from the sky. That's the hole in the sky where we descend from. And the Pleiades, in more New Age kind of context, is considered this place where we understand our dualistic role as both being fully human and fully here to experience life for ourselves and our own wishes and desires and human and bodily needs. And then there's also this dualistic path of being of service and serving the world and contributing, but that both need to be walked, that both need to be satisfied. And the fact that Mars and Uranus were right over top or right next to the Pleiades during their time that they met in the sky, this is like a rock your world, change your whole perspective, change the way you do things, change the action that you take so that you're actually, fulfilling that dual relationship of being both like fully human, fully divine, fully of service and of service to yourself. Are you taking care of yourself? Because if you're not, it's going to be pretty hard to show up in service and keep contributing to the world, right? Are you contributing to the world? Because if you're not, then you might not feel satisfied enough by just fulfilling yourself, right? You need to contribute and have a sense of purpose and meaning and like you're doing well for yourself or your community or your audience. So it would have been a really provoking, activating time. Let me know what happened for all of you during this time. It also with Uranus and Mars, I just get the sense of like so much action and clarity, especially around the tools and the technology that you use in order to help and support people. I know for myself, the big project I'm working on right now with my team is building an app that's going to serve all of you in sharing your gifts and talents with the world, finding your people, connecting to your people, and just having like an all around elevated, connected space to be and to sell and to share your wisdom. And I can't wait for this app to come into the world. It's probably going to be launching in early 2025. Fingers crossed that all of our beta tests and everything go well. But this is our solution that uses technology to change the way that we interact, that we do commerce, that we do business. And you might be thinking the same thing, that you might need to use technology or tools, or it could even be as simple as like planning out and scheduling some of your marketing. So your emails are scheduled, so your social posts are scheduled, so you can have more time to have more freedom and leisure or go exercise or go for bike rides or hikes or camp or whatever feels right for you at this time. So it's this clarity of how can you use technology for good and what actions do you need to take to actually have the business that you most want and desire? How can you have something more consistently on lock so that you're not just fulfilling yourself and your own needs and desires as an individual, as a person, as an artist, but also so that you're contributing and serving more and scaling even more. And technology is a powerful way to do this. Okay, so that was the Uranus Mars conjunction. Please let me know what you all felt and experienced during that. They're still pretty close together at the time that I'm recording this, but it's that was the culmination point on the 15th. On the 16th, it was World Snake Day. So for all of you that love snake medicine, that love snake as a totem, snake is a symbol for the divine feminine and the Magdalene and Ophiuchus, which is the missing 13th sign of the zodiac. This was a beautiful day to honor snake medicine. It could even be a time now, since it's still, within the week, to look into snake medicine. What could it be teaching you? What are you ready to shed, especially as we move towards this full moon with Pluto right beside. Next, on the 17th of July, we switched astrological season. So it went from Gemini season into Cancer season. And this was also World Emoji Day. So I put the little emoji for Cancer there, which I think is so fun that there's an emoji for all the zodiac signs, including Ophiuchus, which is the snake, the serpent dancer. And so this is a really powerful time to shift gears. And I felt a big, massive, huge shift energetically and emotionally this day. Cancer is such a nurturing, understanding, compassionate sign. And it's really a time for us to nurture ourselves, fill our cups, do what's going to feel good in our bodies, and to nurture our clients, right? To give thanks to our clients, to give them what they really need, right? Perhaps to create a new loyalty program or referral program or a customer service experience that you give to them to really have your clients feel cared for and loved and nurtured by you while you're also being nurtured yourself. And of course, I hope you have fun using some emojis and having fun just expressing yourself and communicating with your clients during this time. The next day, July 18th, was World Listening Day, along with Hug Your Kids Day, which I just think is so amazing that these two kind of go together because honestly, if we all listen to the children more, I think the world would be a much better, more beautiful, brighter place. But this is about listening to everything all around. Yes, the children, but also to your clients, right? Listen to your clients around what questions are they asking you? What are they telling you? What is their feedback? What do they want? What are they saying? How can you speak to them directly when you're right? How can that nurturing, that Cancer energy that we now have encircling us be expressed in the way that you're speaking to your clients and doing your marketing? Also, Hug Your Kids Day is just very self-explanatory. Please go out and hug your kids. Whether or not you did this yesterday or if you'll do it every day, I just think it's a really great reminder to give them a hug. And I was taught by someone years ago that you never break away from a hug with a kid, you let them break away. So you hug them as long as they need to be hugged, right? Don't let go, let them let go and see what happens. It's just so sweet to be hugged by little ones. I can't wait to hug my little baby. Okay, next is the big full moon right next to Pluto that we are going to experience on Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. It's going to be at 4 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So it's going to be like, late at night, early in the morning for Sunday for most of North America, and later in the day, early, like in the actual early afternoon for those of you in Europe and beyond. And so this full moon is very interesting because it's right at the end of Sagittarius on the cusp of Capricorn, because currently Pluto is right on the cusp of Capricorn and it is retrograde. So it is moving back towards Sagittarius, but Pluto moves so slowly that it's really in this cuspy region, right? It's closer to Capricorn, but it's very much in this cuspy region. And so both energies are present, both Sagittarius and Capricorn energies are present. And this is really a cusp of revolutionary change, right? So when you think Sagittarius and Capricorn, I think revolution, changes of institution, the ways that we think, the ways that we teach each other, the ways that we travel, the ways that we create our institutions and innovate and grow on this planet collectively and individually is profoundly changing and transforming. And with Pluto being conjunct here during this full moon, it is a potent time to do shadow work for yourself and for the collective. It's a potent time to do any sort of alchemy around your fear, around your deepest trauma, around what is it that you're ready to grow out of so you can create the foundation that you really need. What are the types of businesses that we really need for the planet, for the world, so no one is left behind? So we have a healthy, thriving economy, right? I call it the free earth economy, where everyone on earth is free to thrive, free to love, free to live well, And this is a really potent, like this really feels like a moment in time, especially given the current political climate in around all of the world, the inflation, the housing crisis, the food cost of living, everything. This is a moment for us to be like, this needs to change, and it is changing, and what is being reborn within us so that we become the leaders, we grow into the people that we need to be for this world, and that we also witness what is happening in the world around us. So it's going to be an incredibly powerful and activating full moon. Make sure that you have support and community, because that Pluto conjunction is going to be, it could be quite emotional. It could stir up quite a bit. I'm going to be hosting a cosmic camping retreat. If any of you are in Alberta and want to join us for that, you can. It's going to be on Saturday. We're going to be starting on Saturday and ending on Sunday, just outside of Brooks, Alberta. It's going to be my last live event that I do here before baby and before we move to Vancouver Island in November. And so it's just going to be a powerful time to do ceremony and connection, and to be really be held by your community, by your sisters, by your fellow entrepreneurs and creators in the world, because things are going down. The world is changing, and we are here to witness it. We are here to be the conduits of that change and the leaders of that change. And this is going to be a very powerful full moon in terms of that change. Okay, so that is the full moon for July. Next, we have Venus moving into Leo. So Venus was just in Cancer. On the 23rd, Venus will be in Leo. So you might be feeling this incredible sense of fire and passion and activation, and actually a sense of being irresistible, both in love and in romance, but also in your business. Like, oh, I love this, and I'm boldly going to share it, and I'm going to express myself. And here I am, world. I'm finally here. And so you might feel this new passion, this new abundance, this new prosperity frequency coming into your body, especially because Venus is how we relate to money and how we relate to everything that we value, that we then magnetize and attract to us. So this is going to be a very powerful time to express yourself, be bold the whole time Venus is in Leo. And so I'm really, really excited for this. It's also going to be a very fiery and passionate time in your relationships, perhaps a time for deep sexual healing and expansion and pleasure within yourself and within partnership. It's just going to be a sexy, fiery time. So let me know how you experience Venus in Leo. The next day, perfectly in alignment with this, is International Self-Care Day on the 24th of July. So make sure to take amazing, impeccable care of yourself, because again, we cannot be leaders. We cannot be showing up in our businesses continuously serving without taking care of ourselves. That's true for anyone in any sort of relationship, but especially in a dynamic where you are here to serve the world, you are here to serve your clients into profound transformation, profound healing, profound shift, profound creation. Self-care is so needed. So, book a spa day, go for a big long walk, go swimming, do what, and, hug a tree, do it all, whatever is self-care for you. Spend time reading, spend time journaling. Just take care of yourself, show yourself all that love and passion that Venus and Leo is going to be activating, and give your heart a hug. All right. On the 26th, which is also considered the day out of time in the Mayan calendar, in the galactic calendar, it's actually the galactic new year in the Mayan calendar. The day out of time is the day before, on the 25th. I forgot to mention that here. That can be a very profound, kind of trippy quantum time day. So let me know how you experience the day out of time. Go out and research it a little bit more. Mayan astrology is something I really want to learn more about. And when I come back and I'm sharing more after maternity, I imagine myself having a whole new perspective, both as a mom, but also from learning from different cultures and different points of view about the cosmos. And so Chiron retrograde is starting during this galactic new year that is in the Mayan calendar. And Chiron retrograde is a very powerful time to, again, let yourself heal your wounds. Go back to what has happened before, maybe that you never resolved, that you never got clear on, that you never felt a sense of closure around, that you never felt a sense of, I am healed from this now, right? And let it all come up so that it can fully be healed, especially in your business, especially if you feel afraid to launch something because you've had failed launches before, if you're afraid to work with someone because you've been intimidated by that group of people before, or whatever it is, whatever judgments or beliefs or limiting beliefs you're holding or trauma you're holding, let it go and let Chiron retrograde work its magic. This is a powerful time for healing. On the 28th, we have the last quarter moon, which is again a moment to be like, okay, what else needs to be let go? What else needs to be forgiven and surrendered after the full moon? So give yourself a moment of contemplation. The next day is International Tiger Day. So for those of you that are very connected to tigers and tiger medicine, make sure to give some tigers some extra love, maybe donate to a tiger organization that day. And then the last day, well, it's not the last day of July, but the last day that I noted here is International Friendship Day and also a day against trafficking. So I know many of you are really passionate against sex trafficking in all forms, child sex trafficking, adult sex trafficking. It's a really powerful day to remember that we are all friends, we are all humans, and anything that you can do to contribute to this cause, whether or not it's building awareness or contributing and funding people that actually go out and stop sex trafficking, do so today. It'll be a powerful way to kind of integrate all of this energy that is happening throughout the month. So that is July. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments below. I want to hear about it. And if you want to work with me before I'm off for maternity leave, I won't likely be doing one of these for August unless I have the energy and I can do it. But I'm not planning on it right now. Then please go to my website, sanjarose.com, in the comments below and book in to have a session with me or to do some coursework with me. I'd love to see you. Okay, have an awesome rest of your July, everybody. Bye-bye.